Good evening and welcome to the Dollar Dogs and Beer Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew. Joining me tonight is Joe. How you holding up, bud?
Holding up okay, man. How about you?
I have not been checking the scores very deliberately for the past, what are we in, the fourth month of the season? So I'm doing okay right now. Oh, good God. I'm ready for this season to be over.
Can't say I blame you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you have good years, you have bad years, and this is just going to be a bad year for us. And hopefully we get a decent draft pick out of it because that's about all we have to bank on at this point.
I mean, what's even, I mean, for you, what's even worse, I think, is yesterday's just result was just terrible. It's just,
Hurston Waldrop has been fantastic this year since he
yeah,
came
he has.
from that spot start in Bristol on. He is absolutely going to be a lock for the rotation next year. Like next year's rotation, I'm very, very excited about the possibilities that we're going to have. And that's really all I have to root for at this point. So thank God for it.
Yeah.
Joe, what are you drinking tonight?
You know what? I'm just kind of like we've been the last few weeks. I'm just trying to stay on a level here and not get too up or down with the days here with the Cubs. So I'm still on the Pepsi Zero.
No worries. I still have some of that red, white, and blue sour, so I'm going to keep going with that. The red, white, and blueberry sour, excuse me. So I'm going to keep going with that because sour is about the best way to describe this season for me. All right. So yesterday we had Labor Day, and I always, my wife works down at hospice, and they have their Labor Day auction held down at Solanco every year in the fairgrounds, and which is in Quarryville. And it was once again a good time. Happy to say the organization raised more than $1 million for the second consecutive year, which is awesome. Help cover their operational costs, helps cover their what they call days of caring, to help patients that are perhaps underinsured or not, or even not insured at all, which is the case of a lot of their Amish patients. The Amish actually donate all the food for this event. And oh my God, not going to lie, I might have pigged out quite a bit on a lot of delicious food yesterday. God, I think I had 3 fruit smoothies. They were that good, among other things. So yeah, we were there all day. I got this Negro League shirt at the sports auction. I got a Ryan Klesko ball, a bunch of other autographed baseballs. Just a plug for hospice and community. If you ever have a free Labor Day or the Saturday before Labor Day, they also auction a lot of stuff off that day as well. So if you ever get a chance, or if you ever have time looking for something to do on Labor Day, volunteer some time. I highly recommend it. It's easy volunteer shifts. They're not going to put you in a situation where you can't do something. They will find something for anybody to do. So it was a great time yesterday. Both my kids are volunteering now. Basically, I've been voluntold by my wife that until she leaves hospice, and even after that, we will probably be down. That's where we'll be spending our Labor Days. So hey, I'm happy to help out. They're a fantastic organization. They provide such fantastic end-of-life care to patients. I can't say enough good things about the organization, so I'm happy to, give up some hours on my Labor Day. And that's also another reason why we took the day off yesterday. I was exhausted when we got home. I was hauling trash actually primarily yesterday, so I was actually physically working and not just typing in numbers and amounts from the auction. So yeah, it was busy, but it was a good time. Like I said, always happy to help them out. And hey, I didn't have to watch any bad baseball yesterday. That did not go my way again.
2 birds, 1 stone sort of thing, huh?
Exactly. Hey, I'm just. So I didn't know they were doing that silent auction this year at the sports, because I was looking all over for that damn Klesko ball. I was told it was going to be there, and I'm like, I don't see this in the general auction. Where the heck is this? And then I finally saw, silent auction. And fortunately, I saw it about an hour before the silent auctions closed. So I had time to get over there and get my bids in. I will say, technically, my wife won the Klesko ball because she decided that she would get under my skin and outbid my bid. And then I realized, but she didn't realize I memorized our 2 bid numbers, so I knew I didn't have to put another bid in on top of it. So nice try on her part to try and sneak me out on that one.
Well, there's no outsmarting you, so I mean that was
Oh, there's plenty outsmarting me, just not something like that.
no, not when it comes to sports at least.
That's fair. Oh, speaking of sports, I've got a great baseball trivia from one of our old friends from Warwick, Keith Rife Snyder. Big Phillies fan. He's obviously much happier about how the season's going than I am. Here you go. How many pitchers older than 42 have thrown 120 or more pitches in a game and struck out 10 or more? It's happened a grand total of, I think, 27 times, and it's only between 3 players, though, which should be a pretty big hint for at least one of them.
Wow. Oh my. Well, is Jamie Moyer one of them?
No, not Jamie Moyer.
Just because he pitched for so long.
It's a fair guess, yeah, because Jamie literally pitched forever, but he was never a big strikeout guy.
No. Well, Verlander obviously from yesterday.
Correct, Verlander.
Um,
One lefty, one righty.
Our era or older?
One's our era, one's older.
Satchel?
Not Satchel. Well, he may have done it in the Negro Leagues, but that I don't know if we have enough individual game stats to say that or not.
Okay. So not that far back. Okay.
No, not as far back as Satch, who technically made his major league debut in his 50s for Atlanta because they wanted to get him on long enough to pension him in, which is awesome. And he actually did pitch for them too. He wasn't just a roster stash.
Okay. You're gonna have to give me a hint.
One of them is known for killing an animal.
Oh, I kind of thought that might be one.
Yep.
Randy Johnson.
Yep, Randy's the lefty. The righty is the strikeout king, Nolan Ryan.
Okay.
Nolan Ryan did it 25 times.
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about aging like fine wine. There aren't many people that age like fine wine better than Nolan Ryan.
No, there aren't.
I mean, let's be real. He could even win a boxing match in his 40s, as Robin Ventura found out one night. I love that. I love that they let him keep pitching with a bloody uniform. It just, just made the whole night special.
Definitely.
All right. So looking at the standings overall, most of the division races are by and large done. The NL East is done. I'm okay. Okay. New York Mets fans, yes, you're 6 games back. If the Phillies play 500, I think Jason said they need to play like 600 plus baseball to get there. I'm not seeing it. Sorry. Too little, too late, short of a miraculous Phillies collapse, which I'm not going to say can't happen because every year we see, or almost every year, we see a team near the top or close to the top that's in contention just fall apart in September. I don't see that happening with Philadelphia this year.
I mean, the Mets were on the opposite side of that a number of years ago. They dropped that 7-game lead in September. So, I mean, is it? I think for sure we know the AL Central's done. That's wrapped up.
Yeah, the AL Central, the Tigers are up 9. I'm going to call that one. We'll be like the political pundits during the presidential election when like an obviously blue state or an obviously red state, when the first vote's cast, they just call. Vermont always goes Democrat, California always goes Democrat, most of the Midwest always goes. These are states where we've watched the trends long enough that we could pretty safely say after one vote, you're not purple. We pretty much know what's going to happen. And I think it's safe to do that with the AL Central this year. And I think let's be honest, that race was done in June. That hasn't been a surprise this entire year. The AL Central has, once again, I've been by far the worst division in baseball for the second or third year running now.
Yeah. I mean, I had Detroit on the hot list for having a really bad streak and still being up like 11 games.
Crazy that worked like that. It really was.
The fact that they could do that and still be in first place by as much as they were was just nuts.
Yeah. Technically, the Cubbies aren't out in the NL Central, but at 5.5, Milwaukee's going to have to swoon pretty hard to let you guys get back into it. Now, granted, you're playing Atlanta right now, so you should take the series. I mean, based on how we've played this year, and I think we play again next week, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so you'll probably take that series too. So you've got some wins coming, but I don't know that Milwaukee's going to fall hard enough for you guys to sneak. But it's not out of the 5.5. I would say is not out of the realm of possibility, but you're kind of at the very outside edge of being able to sneak back in with a month to go.
Yeah, I mean the one that's for sure done is the AL Central. The NL East and the NL Central are pretty much done unless something, cataclysmic happens between the two teams. But yeah, I mean those are the three that are pretty.
Let's hop over to the NL West right now. That's a really tightly contested race for the division right now. The Dodgers are at 78 and 59 coming into games tonight, and the Padres at 76 and 62. So it's only a 2.5 game margin between the Dodgers and the Padres right now. Dodgers,
you almost have to treat it as 3.5 because the Dodgers own the tiebreaker.
That's true. I didn't check the tiebreakers going in.
Yeah, they went 9-4 against the Padres this year, so they have the tiebreaker. So you almost have to treat that as 3.5.
Yeah.
For them to tie the division.
They're done for the year, the Dodgers and Padres?
I believe, yeah, they're done.
Okay. Yeah, 13 games sounds about right for division.
Yeah, they're done head-to-head. It's just a matter of the rest of the year.
Can I go on the record and say once again, 13 division games against each opponent, against each division team is not enough. I hate this new scheduling format, and I will hate this new scheduling format until we have a commissioner who gets his head out of his ass and fixes it. Anyway, so the Dodgers this year have been all about their offense. Their pitching has not been as good as it's been. The Dodgers are second in the NL in runs scored, and I think third overall. Yes, third overall. They've scored 700 runs. They've allowed 599, which is higher than it was last year, even with the Golden Boy returning to the mound. Although pitching, I guess, okay, but nothing spectacular. So, the Dodgers is a plus 101 differential. The Padres are at plus 54. Again, scored significantly less, but their pitching has been way better. They've only allowed 531. So. Let me pull up some schedules here. Let's do a little compare and contrast the rest of the way out for these two teams because for some reason that damn tab closed on me. I don't know why my computer thought that was a nice idea right now, but screw it. All right. So the Dodgers the rest of the way out. They are at Pittsburgh, at Baltimore, home for the Rockies, at the Giants, home for the Phillies, home for the Giants, at Arizona, and then in a series that may or may not matter at Seattle for the last 3 of the year. And then for the Padres, they are finishing out with they have Baltimore at home right now, at the Rockies, home for Cincinnati, home for the Rockies, at the Mets, at the White Sox. And then the last 2 series are Milwaukee and Arizona. And once again, those last 2 series may or may not matter to the other team. So I got to tell you, I kind of like San Diego's schedule better going in. They've got 2 rounds with the Rockies. They've got the White Sox in there. I know they've got the Mets, but that's a lot of winnable series in there against teams that are not great this year. Cincinnati's going to be a scrap because Cincinnati, I believe, still hasn't been swept, which is a remarkable statistic in and of itself. So I think it's possible the Padres could catch the Dodgers. They definitely have the schedule to do it. Will the execution come down, and will the Dodgers slow down a little bit looking trend-wise? The Dodgers are 6-4 in the last 10. The Padres are 4-6 on a 2-game losing streak. So Padres not really entering with the momentum, but I think this one I would say it's possible, but I'm still going to lean for the Dodgers to finish up on top of the division. What do you think?
I mean, I think if the Dodgers didn't have six left with the Giants, um, I'd feel a lot more comfortable about the Dodgers' chances because regardless of the records, those two teams do not like each other.
No,
So
they don't.
there is nothing that San Francisco would like more than to spoil that for the Dodgers, spoil the
Yes.
division for them. So given that part of the schedule, I feel like the Padres are going to end up taking it.
And what two other things I want to note. Neither of these teams play well on the road. The Dodgers are at 500, the Padres are at 33 and 39. They're both great home teams, but that road number, it's something you have to look at. So what? Rockies, Mets, White Sox for the Padres, and then for the Dodgers, it's Pittsburgh, Baltimore, San Francisco, Arizona, Seattle. So the Dodgers will be on the road more. Yeah, I really think the Padres definitely have a chance to chase the Dodgers down. I'm going to be really curious next Monday when we do our next update and look in to see if there's much movement here or not, because that will be a nice little litmus test too.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
All right. Let's see. We'll skip the Central and the East. Let's head over to the AL West. Right now, the Astros are on top, 76 and 62, and the Mariners were only 3 behind at 73 and 65. This is another one that, God, we thought the Astros were dead in the freaking water, and then here they are back on top of the division in September. It's very frustrating. All right.
I mean, this team is just the system that they have is just phenomenal. They just churn up talent. They
It
create
is.
pitching talent.
They have
It's phenomenal.
they have a great development system. They really do. And they made smart trades too.
Yeah.
All right, the Astros the rest of the way out. They are home with New York and home with the Yankees, sorry, for a 3-gamer starting tonight at Texas, at Toronto, at Atlanta. Home for Texas, home for Seattle, at the Athletics, and at Los Angeles Angels to close out. The Mariners, let's see here. The Mariners are at Tampa Bay. They got blown out last night, 10-2. At Atlanta. Oh God, seriously? Cubs and Mariners this week. Somebody hates me. Home for St. Louis. Home for the Angels. At Royals. At Astros. Home for the Rockies, and then, as we mentioned, home for the Dodgers in a series that may or may not matter for one or both teams at the end of the season. So, wow. Ordinarily, I was going to say I really, really like Seattle's schedule, and I still do like Seattle's schedule the rest of the way out. They definitely have one of the easier paths to the end. That middle to late September matchup between the Astros, that might be the division right there, whoever comes out on top of that.
Yeah, I mean it's certainly is going to be something to look at. To me, I would if I were picking today, it's Houston because Seattle just hasn't shown that they can do it and
It,
put it together long enough to do it. Like they
it's
put it
true.
together in spurts, but just not consistently.
How many years have we been big on the Mariners coming into September now, and then the Mariners just lay an egg on us? Actually, probably just about every year we've done the show, except maybe once, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we were so. I don't think a majority of us were big on them the first year, but the second year, like the other years, they were ready to win the division. Dave had us drinking the Kool-Aid, and
Damn it, Dave.
um, fortunately, we shouldn't have been because I mean they haven't been able to put it across the finish line, and I think that's the thing that kind of like what I said about the NL Central before the season started is until you can show you can knock off the Brewers, you're not winning this division.
Mm-hmm. And we should mention the Rangers as well because they're only 4.5 back. They are definitely still within striking distance. They're scheduled the rest of the way out. They're at Arizona right now. They did win last night 7-5. They have the Astros, as we just mentioned, this weekend. Then they've got Milwaukee at home. They then go to the Mets. They go to Houston again, and then they've got the Marlins, the Twins, and the Guardians. So that's why I'm not so big on the Rangers making the division run, because that's a nasty gauntlet of Astros, Brewers, Mets, Astros. When all of those teams are fighting for playoff spots, you're not going to get a break in there, and a lot of that being on the road. Jason was just, he was letting us know in the group chat about his trip up to City Park and getting to experience an Edwin Diaz entrance. And Jason loves the Duran entrance in Philadelphia, and he put Diaz's ahead of it. I still say it's the best closer entrance in baseball. Being a brass player might have influenced it slightly with the song choice, but it's, City Park just rocks when Diaz is announced, and the timing of getting him out of the pen and on. Yeah, I love it. So yes, the Rangers are definitely still in contention. I'm not getting warm and fuzzies about the Rangers catching the division. I'm not going to say they won't win enough games to stay in the wild card race, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I'm not getting the warm and fuzzies about the Rangers staying in it to win it for the division. What do you think? You're muted.
I don't think there's enough ramp for them to do it. The gauntlet that they're playing, like you said, I think that's all going to factor into it. This is not the Rangers of 2 years ago where their backs were against the wall and they were able to make some magic happen. This is definitely a different squad, and I think there's going to be the division. I don't think so.
Yeah, I do. The one thing I love about the Rangers this year, I love their pitching. They definitely have the best pitching of the three, and it shows in the run differential. They actually have the best differential of all three teams at plus 94. 603 scored versus 509 allowed. Seattle scored more at 629, but they've allowed 612. The Astros are at 580 and 560 at plus 20. So it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. But there's one other big thing that scares me at the Rangers. Not only are they under 500 on the road, although, yes, I know the Mariners are, but I have a big difference here. The Rangers against teams over 500 are 29 and 44, whereas the Mariners are 42 and 39, and the Astros are at 37 and 34. So to me, there's just two, and I know the Rangers are hot right now. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They're on a 6-game heater, which has propelled them back towards the top. I don't think they can sustain it. I just don't see the wins there.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So then we go to what I think is going to be the most exciting race to watch the rest of the way out, is the three-way tango at the top of the American League East right now. You've got Toronto still in the lead at 79 and 59, and then 2.5 back, you've got the Yankees and Red Sox. The Yankees at 76 and 61, the Red Sox at 77 and 62. So the Yankees are technically ahead by 1/100th of a winning percentage point, although they have identical 2.5. They are identical at 2.5 games back. First of all, props on Toronto. They re-signed Vladdy, and they said, "Hey, we're going to build around you, and we're going to bring guys in," and they have done just that. And Vlad Guerrero Jr. Betting on his home squad right now, that bet is looking really good. Not only did he get paid, he gets to stay in the city he wanted to stay in, that developed him, that grew him. First of all, I love that. I wish we could see more of that just across the league. As much as I would love to see my team not go after good free agents because they don't want to pay that price. It's good seeing stars stay home. It really is. All right. The schedule the rest of the way out. The Blue Jays, they did lose at Cincinnati last night. They've got 2 more there. They have 3 at the Yankees this weekend. They've got 3 versus the Astros next week, 3 versus Baltimore, 4 at the Rays, 3 at the Royals, 3 versus the Red Sox, and then 3 versus the Rays to end the year. And again, the last week may or may not matter. That's not the easiest path to the finish. The Yankees, They are playing. They're live at Houston right now for 3. 3 versus Toronto this weekend. 3 versus Detroit. They've got 3 at the Red Sox next week. Next weekend, 3 at the Twins, 4 at the Orioles, 3 versus the White Sox, 3 versus the Orioles. So the Yankees, the Yankees are getting all their tough stuff out of the way now, and then have a glide to the finish. The Red Sox they did beat the Guardians last night. They've got 2 more there, 3 at Arizona, 3 at the Athletics, 3 versus the Yankees, 3 versus the Athletics, 3 at the Rays, 3 at the Blue Jays, and 3 versus Detroit. Wow. That's not very nice.
No, not at all.
So none of these schedules are easy. Let's start with that. None of these are easy paths to the division for any of these teams, and they all play each other multiple times. Let me pull up my team versus team grid here to see where we're at with the tiebreakers. Let's see here. All right, here we go. All right, so Boston. Let's see here. Boston is 8-2 against the Yankees, so I don't believe. Yeah, the Yankees won't have enough games to catch the Red Sox. So the Red Sox hold the tiebreaker with the Yankees, and Toronto is 7-3 over the Red Sox. So Toronto's got the tiebreaker there, and they are at 7-3 against the Yankees. So Toronto holds the tiebreakers. So that is an important thing to consider. As we look at this, the Yankees and the Red Sox cannot end on a tie with Toronto, and the Yankees have no tiebreakers at all. So, looking at that, Joe, with no tiebreakers for the Yankees, the Red Sox holding it over the Yankees, Toronto having it over all 3. Are you liking Toronto to hold on and take the division, or do you think either the Red Sox or the Yankees will catch them?
If anybody catches them, it's going to be the Red Sox just because of those tiebreakers. Um, you know, at some point, this hot streak that the Blue Jays have been on for the better part of a month and a half is going to cool off. So I'm going to take the Red Sox in that division.
Okay, you think the Red Sox are going to catch?
Yeah.
I could see it. I really could see it, and that is a murderer's row schedule that the Blue Jays have the rest of the way out. I think the Blue Jays hang on because let's be real. The Blue Jays have been able to hang on in September a couple times now since we started doing the show, and then it all falls apart in October. I kind of still feel that is a strong possibility. Despite how the Blue Jays have played this year, they are due to slow down. Right now, they are going to be the number 2. They are a game behind the Tigers for number 2 overall. I think Detroit's going to hold on to the number 1 overall seed. I don't know. It's hard to say because I don't like any of these schedules. Let me preface it with that first. I don't like any of these schedules. I think they are nasty gauntlets to get to the end for all 3 teams. I think I hate the Blue Jays schedule the least. And with the tiebreakers, I think they will hold on, but I do worry that they're going to just do what they always do in October and fall apart in the wild card round, or if they get the bye through to the division round, they fall apart in the division round. I just don't see it. I wish I could. I wish I could convince myself, but I don't see it. Looking at we'll stay in the AL for the wild card race because a lot of this is going to be Yankees and Red Sox. So the wild card right now, the Yankees have wild card 1, although again, Boston's played 2 more games and is 100th of a percentage point behind. Considering the tiebreaker, I would consider Boston to be the true wild card 1, but winning percentage wins out right now. The Mariners are the 3rd wild card. The Rangers are 1.5 out. The Royals are technically not out of it. They are 2.5 out. The Guardians are at 4. The Rays are at 4.5. So the Guardians and the Rays are on the edge. Guardians are back up to 500. I'm actually a little surprised by that. 4 games back in the wild card. and looking at the schedules, because we've heard those two names called quite a few times as we've looked at these schedules for the division leaders. I'm not feeling the warm and fuzzies for the Guardians or the Rays to be able to catch up. In that, I think the only teams you're going to see that might be able to slip in either the Rangers or even possibly the Royals. Although, let me pull the Royals up here. I should have had their schedule up.
I think it depends a lot on what happens with Seattle, as to whether one of those other two will slip in. Obviously, of those two, the Rangers and the Royals, definitely the Rangers have the better shot to get in.
Mhm.
But outside of the Royals, there's no way anybody else has a shot. It's just not going to happen. Too much has to go right, and not enough's going to go right.
So and here's the thing for the Royals: they need to make their run now. They've got 3
Right.
versus the Angels, 3 versus the Twins, 4 at the Guardians, and then they've got 3 straight series that they're going to get their teeth kicked. They're at Philadelphia for 3. They're home for Seattle for 3. They're home for Toronto for 3. And then they'll end with the Angels and the Athletics on the road, though. So the Royals, if they are going to make a move, they need to do it now.
Yeah, that's fair.
And there's a lot I don't like about the Royals for that possibility. They're -3 in the run differential this year. They are they're closer to 500 on the road than anybody, but they're 32 and 43 against plus 500 teams. Again, I know that's not everything, but I'm skeptical of their odds of getting there. They're playing a little bit better than expected. The Rangers are playing quite a bit worse than expected at this point. The Royals, we're going to know by next week if we should actually keep a closer eye on the Royals. I think the Royals will probably stay close. I think the Rangers might start to fade this week. I agree. I think the Guardians and the Rays say we'll keep a slight eye, but I think it's safe to say there's at this point 4.5 games it's a tough ask.
So. Too much, and too much has to go right.
Yeah,
just too much has to go right.
So, man, 4 games at this point. Yeah, that's a lot to ask. So, for the 3 wild card teams right now, how do you think they're going to? Do you think they're going to stay ranked like Yankees, Red Sox, Mariners? I do think the Red Sox are going to pass the Yankees, especially with the tiebreaker. The Mariners, let me see if they have any tiebreakers. The Mariners, they split with Boston, so I don't know what the secondary tiebreaker there is. And they actually lost to the Yankees. The Mariners will have to get ahead of the Yankees. They do not hold the tiebreaker there. So knowing that, where are you gonna rank if those are the 3 wild card teams and the divisions don't change? Where are you going to put the 3 wild card teams?
Yeah, I think you're kind of on the right track. I think Boston would be the 1, and then probably the Yankees 2. Assuming nothing changes with those 3, yeah, it'd be Boston, Yankees, Mariners probably.
All right. And then with the division leaders, Detroit is 1 game up on the Blue Jays, and they're 4 games up on the Astros. Does Detroit hold on and keep the number 1 overall seed? Here, I can get their schedule pulled up here quick.
I don't know that the schedule matters.
Yeah, it's true.
This team lost 9 in a row and was still winning their division by 9 games. Like, at some point, they just have whatever you need to have.
I will say this. They are getting absolutely shellacked by the Mets. They lost 10-8 last night. They're down 12-2 tonight. So this has not been a good series. I don't think Skubal has pitched in this now because Skubal pitched the last game of the Royals series. So
right.
That is somewhat concerning to see them getting beaten up like this. But they've got the White Sox next. They go to the Yankees. They go to Miami. Then they've got Guardians, Braves, Guardians, Red Sox. The last 6 are on the road. So I'm not sure it's really going to matter much. They probably will be because Toronto's schedule is significantly harder. So they probably do have enough that they don't need to worry unduly about getting caught there. Definitely possible, but I don't feel like it's super likely. And the one thing I do like about this Detroit team, they do play decently on the road at 36-33. So
Yeah, I mean they just are that talented where it just doesn't seem like anything's gonna phase them at this point, and I like their schedule a lot better than I like the rest of it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no arguments in the schedule. All right, let's. Do you think the Astros could catch the Blue Jays? They're 3 behind the Blue Jays for seed 2.
I'd say that's probably likely. So
Okay.
if it were me picking today, it'd be Detroit, Houston, Toronto.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the AL East is going to cannibalize itself to a point that it's going to suppress the overall win total down unless one of the teams gets really hot. All right, let's flip it over to the NL side. So we'll look at the wild card first. So your Cubbies are on top of the wild card at 79-59. They're 5 up over the third place Mets. Padres are 3 behind the Cubbies at 76-62. The Mets are at 74-64. The Reds are at 4 out. The Giants are at 5 out. We'll keep an eye on the Reds just because they're not getting swept at all this year. But I again, similar to where Tampa Bay and Cleveland are, I feel like they're a little too far out. And Cincinnati has no momentum coming in right now. 3-7 in their last 10, although they have won 2 in a row. So that might be starting to turn. But I'm skeptical of the Reds' ability to catch up with the wild card. Their schedule: Toronto, Mets, at the Padres, at the Athletics, at the Cardinals. Wow, that's a lot of road. 9 straight in the road in September. Somebody hates the Reds. And then they end with 4 at home against the Cubbies, 3 at home against the Pirates, and then 3 on the road with the Brewers in a series that, again, may or may not matter. So that's, I'm looking at that schedule. I don't like the Reds picking up enough wins to slip into the wild card unless, like, the Mets hit that point in free fall, although the way they're playing right now, I don't think the Mets are at much of a risk of having another late September collapse, unlike a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like the reason you can't count the Reds out is just how many games they have against competition is left. I mean, you've got 4 with the Cubbies. I mean, if God forbid, if the Reds sweep the Cubs in that series, it's you're back to even, and the Cubs are 1 game up.
Yeah, it's true.
The Brewers are not. The Brewers are going to lay down because the division is going to be over by then, and nothing would make the Brewers happier than somehow eliminating the Cubs if it's at all possible. So
that is true.
I mean, to me, I think you can't count the Reds out just because of how much they have left against competition. They have the Mets too. So, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here. And I think you can't underscore the Tito effect because who knows?
It's so true. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. The Reds' no sweep streak was finally snapped last week. The Dodgers did sweep the Reds.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
So I did not realize the no sweep streak. Still, to make it to the end of August without being swept, that's a hell of a run.
Well, you know what's ironic about this whole sweep thing is when the Cubs were swept by the Giants last week. That was the first time they've been swept in a 3-game series.
Oh, that's crazy.
The sweep that was attributed to the Cubs was Tokyo. So, like, both teams lasted till the end of August, basically.
2-game series should not count towards sweeps. They're not real series.
No. So that was the one thing that drove me crazy because I'm like, the Cubs haven't been swept in 3 games yet. Like,
yeah. So looking at the tiebreakers in the wild card, right now the Cubs and the Reds, they still have games to play. The Cubs currently hold the edge at 5-4. The Cubs with the Mets, the Cubbies are 1-2 with the Mets, and you guys do have a home series, the Mets, in the last week. So that's going to be a huge series. And then the Cubbies and the Padres, you guys are split at 3-3, so it'll go to a secondary tiebreaker there.
Right.
The Mets against the Reds, 1-2 right now. So we'll have to see what's going to happen. That's their second series is this weekend. The Mets will be on the road, so we'll have to see about that. And then let's see, the Padres. Padres. They're 1-2 at Cincinnati. They play them. That's not really a big deal. The Padres are up 3-0 over the Mets for our tennis fans out there. So if the Mets don't sweep the Padres in the home series coming up, they're going to lose the tiebreaker. So I feel like it's safe to. You can't say safe too much in September because anything and everything can and will and does happen. I feel pretty confident to say that the Padres will likely hold the tiebreaker over the Mets. They should be able to manage at least 1 out of 3, I would think. We'll see. So yeah, schedules the rest of the way. So the Mets they're walloping Detroit in the road right now. They have Cincinnati on the road. They've got 4 at Philadelphia next week. And Citizens Bank Park is going to be rocking for that series. And it's going to be probably among the loudest it'll be all year before the playoffs. And then 3 versus the Rangers, 3 versus the Padres, 3 versus the Nationals, 3 at the Cubs, 3 at the Marlins to end the year. The Cubbies the rest of the way again. They're probably going to take most of the Atlanta series this week. You've got the Nationals this weekend, 3 at Atlanta next week, 3 home with the Rays, 3 at Pittsburgh, 4 at Cincinnati, 3 versus the Mets, 3 versus the Cardinals. Although, let's be real, the Cardinals are going to try and beat you because they're the damn Cardinals. It doesn't matter what's going on in any division race or anything else by that point. So, the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's just like the Dodgers and Giants,
Yeah. The Cardinals are going to show a pulse. Whether they can actually do anything with it or not is another question altogether, but they will definitely show a pulse. All right, so we've looked at the schedules, and again, the Cubbies are up 3 on the Padres, 5 on the Mets. So the Mets have a long way to climb if they're going to catch the Cubs. The Padres could catch the Cubs. Do you think the NL wild card, assuming divisions don't change, do you think that actually? Now that I think about that, because the Padres could catch the Dodgers. The Cubbies do have the tiebreaker over the Dodgers if the Dodgers would fall to the Padres. So that's good. That's good for you. That's excellent. Yeah. So, assuming that, do you think the wild card is going to stay Cubs, Padres, Dodgers, Mets?
I don't know.
I know.
It's hard. I'm really trying to be not over the top here. To me, I think the loser of the Dodgers Padres is going to be the one.
You think they'll catch you?
Yeah, okay. I do. I don't have any faith in them. I mean, look, they're beating up on the Braves, but who hasn't done that this year? No offense.
You're not wrong. But you're not wrong. As much as I wish you were, you're not.
So, to me, some of this nonsense with Tucker now that's starting to sort of resolve because he's finally hitting again. You had Owen Casey up, you sent him down after not playing him a whole bunch and whatnot with the roster expansion. So, to me, I just have so little faith in what they're doing at this point.
Yeah.
And if you have Boyd and Imanaga come falling down to earth in the last month, which is certainly possible. Yeah. I just don't know that. I'm just not confident enough because I've seen this tape before. So, to me, the winner of the loser of the NL West will be the one. I think someone else will end up being the 2, and the Cubs might stay in as a 3. I can see it. I've lived it, and they're playing the Reds. The Mets. They're playing teams that have to win. and of course the Cardinals who want them to lose regardless. So
That's true.
to me, it's the winner of that. The loser of the NL West is the one. The Mets and the Reds are the two, and the Cubs will be the three if they stay in it. Um, I just I'm just not sure that I have enough faith in it as a Cubs fan. Now, is that likely to happen? Am I just being a pessimist? Maybe, but I mean, I've lived
Yeah,
through it.
your
So,
your pessimism is not without valid reasoning for it.
I mean, you had a valid core of Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, and Contreras, and can only win one World Series. So
It's hard. It is so hard to win the world. There is a reason we haven't seen consecutive World Series winners since the Yankees back in the
yeah,
90s. And I don't
yeah.
think it's even if the Dodgers make it, I don't think the Dodgers are going to do it this year.
No, I don't think so either. Unless it's scripted for some reason, which it very well could be.
Uh,
Um,
it's happened once or twice before. Even though MLB will deny it, it's think if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and swims like a duck, it's usually a duck. All right.
yeah, I think the other thing, not that the NL East is in danger, but I think the other thing we have to see what happens is not having Wheeler anymore.
That is true.
You
Yeah.
know, and adding Walker Buehler is certainly a plus.
He has.
Because I mean, the right environment, I think he'll be okay. I think he could contribute in some way to them, and if nothing else, the guy's got plenty of postseason experience, and that matters. So,
Absolutely. Phillies schedule the rest of the way since you brought it up. They are off for a week. I don't know why MLB did this. They played Labor Day. They're off today, and then they've got Wednesday, Thursday at Milwaukee for a 3-gamer this week, and then they're at Miami for the weekend. Come home for 4 with the Mets next week, 3 with the Royals at home. Go on the road to the West Coast, which Jason's going to hate that 6-game stretch with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. I'm sure Jason's going to be predicting probably something along the lines of either 3-3 or even 2-4 because he's always pessimistic about those trips, as he should be. And they finish up 3 with Miami and 3 with the Twins. So, they get some breaks. Their hard teams are not consecutive, although you could go Mets, Royals, Dodgers is pretty nasty. Although, again, will the Royals still be real by that point, or will they be fading? We'll have to see. I'm kind of betting on fading, but they might still be in it to win it at that point. Looking at the overall standings, the Brewers are 5 up on the Phillies for the number 1 overall. The Dodgers are down 7 to the Brewers for that number 1 overall. So, do you think that anybody's going to catch Milwaukee for number 1?
I'd like it to happen.
Look, let's be real. Me too. Can't stand the Brewers.
You know what? I'm gonna be the resident Phillies homer and say, yeah, go Phillies.
Okay. I don't see it happening. As we've pointed out, 5 games in September is a much bigger mountain than 5 games any other time of the year. Definitely possible. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'm not liking anybody's chances of catching them. Let me just check let's just check the team grid here. The Brewers completely swept the series of the Dodgers. They went 6-0 this year. That's funny as hell. I love that. And the Brewers are up 3-1 on the Phillies, so they will most likely hold the tiebreaker for both the Dodgers and the Phillies because the Padres are still in contention. They are at 1-2 against the Padres. They are 4-2 on the Mets. So if the Mets would happen to catch the Phillies, again, as unlikely as that is, the Brewers do hold that tiebreaker. I think with the tiebreakers, I don't think the Brewers have too much to worry about. If we're being completely honest, you are more than welcome to rep the Phillies homer because God knows I will never do that. I remember '09 when it was Yankees Phillies in the World Series. I was like, damn it, I have nobody to root for in this. I think I ended up slightly leaning Yankees for my mom because my mom is the biggest Yankees fan I know, always has been. An old coworker used to have box seats up in old Yankee Stadium and would take my mom up for games. So my mom's seen some great games up in Yankee. She was there, I believe, if I remember right, she was there for Derek Jeter's last game, and I'm sure subtly snapped some some pictures of his well-rounded rump, which was always one of her favorite parts of Derek Jeter. That's why she liked Javi Lopez, man. I'm like, well, of course, because Lopez was a catcher and did squats all day. Of course, that looked great. What do you expect? If I squatted that many times a day, I'd probably look a lot better too. Who wouldn't? I don't know if my knees would handle squatting that many times a day, but that's beyond the point. All right, so yeah, sure, the Phillies have a chance. I'm not seeing it. I'm really not. Yeah. I can't jump on that bandwagon with you, man. I just don't. I don't see it. Maybe next week I'll see something that makes me think, maybe there's a chance. But with the Phillies schedule being what it is, I think it's going to be Milwaukee the rest of the way out. So, all right. So there is our preview into the playoffs. Joe, anything else you want to add for the playoff preview?
Just with the Padres, they lost Jason Adam the other night, and how amazing is that you can lose him and not really be too worried because you have Mason Miller and Suarez. I mean, it's ridiculous.
We were wondering, were the Padres a little nuts going after Mason Miller? But what did I say then, and what do I say every year? You can never have enough pitching, especially bullpen arms. And you know what? I've liked the Padres pitching all year, and they have pitched very well. I mean, of the 6 playoff teams right now for the National League, they have allowed the fewest runs at 531. The next closest team would be the Brewers at 550, and then the Phillies at 559. The one thing you question with the Padres, will they score enough runs? I think they will. Because they do manage to come in bursts and go and roll like that. But that Padres bullpen, you lose an arm like that, and you're like, I mean, it sucks to lose him, but we're still pretty good from the 6th inning on. That's literally insane.
Yeah, I mean, the Padres with the lead anytime after that. Goodbye, good luck.
Yeah, it really reminds me of Atlanta in 21. Because once the night shift rolled in, that was it. When Matzik was really good, when Luke Jackson had his one good year before everything fell back apart again. Even though Will Smith gave me heartburn every time he pitched, he was perfect in the postseason. You get that hot bullpen rolling in September, man. It's those outs get sucked up really, really quick. So. Yeah, I liked the Padres last year. I think I'm going to like the Padres a lot again this year when we get closer and we make our playoff predictions. Once we have the final bracket, I think the Padres are going to be a team I'm definitely liking to have a chance to make a run. All right, let's take a look here. Let's do some hot list, Joe. I guess we're due for that. Give me. Do you want to do your hitter first while I pull mine up because I forgot to pull it up?
Sure. I'll take. I'm gonna go with. I had this all figured out, and
I'm messing with you, and that's okay.
That's fine. You know what? I'm going to go with Josh Jung from the Rangers. 500, 792 slash lines for the week. 5 runs on 12 hits. 4 of those are doubles, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, 5 strikeouts. He didn't walk, but it's still like that's a good week.
That's a damn good week, no doubt. I'm going to go with. I think you're going to take this guy for Moneyball, so I will go with Rafi Devers finally showing San Francisco what they got in that trade because, God, he hasn't been showing that since he got there. 27 at bats. He went 482, 563 in a slug of 11 runs, 4 homers, 11 RBIs, 13 hits, 2 doubles, 5 walks, 8 strikeouts. So the Rafi Devers the Giants had been hoping for back in June when that trade happened has finally arrived because it has not been good up until this past week.
Yeah. One other hitter I'd like to highlight is Willie Adames for the Giants as well. Yeah. 375, 414, 875, 8 runs on 9 hits. 4 of those 9 hits were home runs, 10 RBIs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a stolen base.
That's not bad. Yeah,
no.
Devers now after that run, his San Francisco average is finally up to 250, 361, 475. So yeah, it took a 471 week to really raise that up to okay to not so good for Devers so far. All right,
so
Joe, who's
I'm going to do
Moneyball
this with the runner-up because of the walk numbers, and then the real Moneyball there'll be an obvious difference. So the runner-up, Jake Cronenworth from the Padres, 333, 600, 583, 4 runs on 4 hits, 3 doubles, 3 RBIs, which doesn't sound like much, but 7 walks and 1 strikeout.
That's nuts.
So a good week for him just on the walk front and on base side of things. But your Moneyball hit 56, a slug of 1100. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. So and now
yeah, 8 runs on 8 hits, a triple, 4 homers, 12 RBIs, 6 walks, 5 strikeouts, 4 stolen bases, and caught stealing 1.
Now, keep in mind, I'm looking Tuesday to Tuesday. There is one. I actually want to give you a Moneyball runner-up as well. Yordan Alvarez. He only had 18 at bats, but he slashed 333, 519, 500, 4 runs, a homer, 4 RBIs, 6 hits, 8 walks to 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, not bad.
It's not bad at all. Like I said, though, I'm looking Tuesday to Tuesday, not Monday to Monday. All right, let's take a look at the pitchers because, boy, we had some fantastic freaking pitching over the last couple weeks. I think I'm going to go with. Do I want to go there? Yeah, why not? Let's highlight a guy I haven't. Let's keep on my. Let's try and highlight some guys we haven't been talking about much. I'm going to go with Luis Morales of the Athletics. He made 2 starts, went 2-0. Only one of them was quality. 12 and 2/3 inning, 142 ERA, .79 WHIP, 2 earned runs, 7 hits, 3 walks, 1 homer around, 15 strikeouts. It's not too bad. And then I did want to. Is he going to be in here or not? He's probably not going to be in here because of when he pitched last. Okay, forget about my other guy. I'll mention him next week as an overall look at how he's been pitching since he came up. Who's your pitcher, Joe?
I'm gonna go with a bullpen arm. Sean Armstrong from the Texas Rangers.
Okay.
4 appearances in the last week, 2 for 2 in save opportunities, 4 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, a .69 WHIP, a 133 batting average against.
Damn, yeah, that's really good. And who's your pick for Moneyball this week?
The adulting.
Adulting. Yeah. Jesus, dude, I'm out of it.
Yeah. Look, this is one of those things where these guys were both so good, so I'm going to do a co-Moneyball co-adulting because I can.
When I'm done messing you up anyway.
Yeah. Johan Duran for Philly, 3 appearances, 2 for 2 in save opportunities, 3 innings, no hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts. Um, and then taking the co-spot with him is Aroldis Chapman with the Red Sox. 3 for 3 in save opportunities, 3 innings, no hits, no runs, 6 strikeouts.
That's not bad. That is not too bad at all.
No.
All right. Let's see here. Let's see. So for hot teams, I did mention them earlier on the heater. The Rangers right now are the hottest team in baseball. 6 straight, 9-1 in the last 10. Red Sox have been hot 2-7-3 on a 3-game winning streak. Anybody else you want to mention, Joe?
Well, the Rays have won 4 in a row, so I mean, not that it's going to be consequential, probably, but still good for them.
The Giants are two straight and 8-2 in the last 10 as well.
Okay.
Oh, Dodgers, the Giants are coming and knocking for you. All right, and in one of our last down on the farm updates for the year, as the minor leagues will be they'll be wrapping up shortly, I decided to go back into the Eastern League. That's AA, our area. First of all, we have got for our catcher, or for our batter, it's going to be catcher Nick Simillo, I'm pretty sure it's Simillo. He plays for Altoona. Altoona, they are the Curve. They're the AA affiliate of the Pirates. And last week, 407, 467, slug of 1, 6 games, 27 at-bats, 9 runs, 11 hits, 2 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, 3 walks to 4 strikeouts. That's not too shabby. And then the pitcher for this week, am I going to go him? No, your ERA and batting average against sucks. Yeah, we're going to go here. We're going to go over to Portland, and we're going to talk about Dalton Rogers, the Portland Sea Dogs, the AA affiliate of the Red Sox. Dalton Rogers had 2 games last week. He went 1-0 through 11 innings, struck out 12. 5 hits, 1 run, it was earned, and 6 walks. So that was a .82 ERA, a whip of 1, and a .143 batting average against. Not too shabby. I wouldn't be too upset with that outcome if I was given the choice. All right, Joe, anything else you want to bring up for the week?
I don't think so. There'll probably be more on a topic I'm looking at for next week.
All right, sounds good. All right, everybody. Audio recordings are available on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere you find podcasts. We're live on YouTube as well as Facebook. Merchandise is at redbubble.com/people/DDAB-podcast. Follow us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/dollardogsandbeer. We are presented by Dark Arrow Podcast LLC and sponsored by Baron Barbershop over in Manheim. Guys, may your dogs always cost $1. May your beer always be cold. We will see you next week for the second week of the playoff chase.